Yemen's conflict shows no signs of ending soon, and the future of an entire nation is at risk of being destroyed. Despite the United Nations' efforts to bring peace to the country, Houthi militia's escalation and obstinance seems to stop all those efforts. This report has more details.
The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned recent military escalation in Yemen and called for an immediate halt to the escalation. In a press briefing on the United Nations work priority, he stressed on breaking the cycle of violence and called for a ceasefire.
What we need is to stop this vicious circle in which things get escalating one after the other. What we need is to have, as we have been proposing from long ago, a ceasefire together with the opening of harbor and airports, and then the beginning of a serious dialogue among the parties. This escalation needs to stop.
The question now lies, why the peace process in Yemen is hampered? The country needs a peace agreement that relies on a number of factors, the first of which is a comprehensive ceasefire throughout Yemen. All parties should be cooperating with the United Nations efforts to facilitate the delivery of foodstuffs to all Yemeni people, especially children and women whose number is more than 16 million, in order to avoid a humanitarian catastrophe whose first chapters began a long time ago. Resuming negotiations to reach consensus on the formation of a transitional government that includes all components is also a priority. The affairs of the country were run within an agreed-upon roadmap that includes a referendum on a new constitution and a move towards comprehensive legislative and presidential elections. After the Biden administration removed the name of the Houthis from the list of groups sponsoring terrorism in 2021, the group expanded their military operations, opened new fronts, and increased their armament with support from Iran. United Nations Special Envoy to Yemen Hans Grandberg reiterated that the escalation recent weeks is among the worst in Yemen in years. He said this escalation undermined the chances of reaching a sustainable political settlement to end the conflict in Yemen. With this unprecedented escalation and the blockage of all prospects for political penetration in the near term, the human tragedy is culminating. The Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs recently informed the Security Council that there are 16 million people in Yemen in dire need for aid. This aid totals about $4 billion. Millions in Yemen are suffering out of poverty, hunger, and severe restrictions of movement.